How was your workout?
Okay.
Hey, how was your workout?
Not that good. Not as bad as my other ones. I'm just tired and I don't have a lot of energy.
Oh, did you eat breakfast?
No, ma'am.
No? Well, my name's Alyssa. What's your name?
Ryan.
Ryan, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm actually a chef and a registered dietitian, and I was heading to our teaching kitchen downstairs to make some breakfast. Do you want to come with me and we'll talk about fueling for your workout?
Yes, ma'am, for sure.
Okay, great. Let's go. Thank you for joining me today, Ryan.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, I'm really excited to talk about overnight oats. They are one of my favorite make-ahead recipes, easy to grab on the go, full of really good complex carbohydrates, good fuel for energy throughout the morning. So we are just gonna use some old-fashioned oats. Have you heard of rolled oats before?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're the same thing, absolutely. So we're going with our old-fashioned rolled oats because we're adding a liquid to them and they're just gonna soak in the liquid overnight. So we don't wanna use instant oats in this recipe because they'll fall apart and be really mushy.
Okay.
All right, so to make a jar, which is a serving, we're gonna start with half a cup. So you've got your half cup measuring cup, you've got your oats right here, and we're just gonna scoop it right in. It's okay to make a mess, we can wipe it up later. This is one of those recipes where it's great to kind of have an idea of how much you want to put in there, but it's not an exact science. It's not going to totally fail if we don't have exactly the same ratio as what the recipe says. Okay, now we need to add a liquid for our oats to soak in. And I brought a variety of milks out here. So what do you typically put in your overnight oats?
I normally just use whole milk.
Whole milk? Okay, great. Whole milk is a really great option when you're looking for a good source of protein and you're looking for a good source of fat. So I've got 2% here today. It is, of course, a dairy-based milk. So if you're looking for a great plant-based alternative, I brought some almond milk. Almond milk is gonna be a great liquid to soak the oats in, but it doesn't have as much protein as dairy milk and it doesn't have as much fat. So it is gonna be a lower calorie option, but we are missing some of those key nutrients. Now, soy milk, have you ever had soy milk before?
Yes.
Okay, soy milk is another plant-based alternative to dairy milk. It is gonna be higher in protein. So it's got about 9 grams of protein per cup, and it does have a little bit of fat, but not as much as your dairy milk. So let's go ahead and pour half a cup of one of the milks into your overnight oats jar. I measured a little more than half a cup, so it doesn't have to be perfect. But this is what is gonna essentially cook our oats. So it doesn't cook them with any heat, but our oats are gonna soak up the milk and get that really soft texture, and it's gonna make them easier to digest. Okay, so to get some extra protein, let's add some Greek yogurt. Now, do you use Greek yogurt or any other type of yogurt?
I use either Greek yogurt or just the plain vanilla yogurt.
Okay, great. We have just an unsweetened plain Greek yogurt right now. This is gonna be a good source of protein also. So protein is really great at breakfast time because it helps keep you feeling full longer. And it's a great way to start your day with some protein. Okay, and then my favorite source of added flavor and sweetness in overnight oats is fruit. So what kind of fruit do you typically put in your oats?
I usually just do blueberries or chopped up strawberries.
Okay, do you go fresh or
Yes.
frozen?
Fresh.
Okay, fresh is really a great option because it's so full of flavor and it's so sweet. But sometimes I like to use frozen because it stays good in the freezer for longer. You can use as much as you need for the recipe and then just keep it stored in the freezer. So I think I'm gonna go with dark sweet cherries for mine. And then I brought out some blueberries and strawberries for you. I think there's blackberries and raspberries in there as well. Good. Okay, so I'm just gonna add a couple in here. And the fruit is gonna add really great color and flavor, some nice texture as well. And then after my oats sit in the refrigerator overnight, I really like to add some fun toppings. So this is a really great way to add additional flavor and get some extra nutrition. So I'm gonna give you that. These were oats that I made yesterday. And now we're gonna top them with some of my favorite things. Okay. First, I'm gonna go with some sunflower seeds. So sunflower seeds are a good source of fiber, they have healthy fats, and they add a nice little crunch. So I'm just gonna add some sunflower seeds to the top of my jar. What are you gonna add to your oats?
I've actually never added any of these. I normally just go with granola, but I think out of all these, I'll probably do sunflower seeds too.
Okay, perfect. Well, granola is great to add a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of crunch. And the great thing about overnight oats in general is you can mix and match depending on what you have on hand, what sounds good that day, and really just not get bored by doing different things. So I recommend seeds, I recommend nuts. We've got some pecans here. And then we should add some fun stuff, because sometimes it's a good thing to have a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of richness with our very healthy breakfast.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you some semi-sweet mini chocolate chips, and I'm gonna go with peanut butter in mine. You can mix the peanut butter in the day before, but I like to just add a little spoonful on top. It adds a little saltiness. It also has protein. It's a good source of healthy fat, and just makes it a little bit more fun. So tell me, do you usually make your overnight oats one night at a time, or do you make a couple of jars?
I normally do one night at a time, and most mornings, for cross-country mornings, we have to wake up at the crack of dawn and run, so I don't really have time for breakfast because I like to prioritize sleep. So I normally eat a granola bar just to get something in me, and then afterwards I'm normally really hungry, so that's nice to have this pre-made.
That is great. I think that prioritizing sleep is really important, especially at your age, and then being prepared with something that has a good source of carbs, a great source of protein that you can enjoy after your really tough workouts is going to set you up for success. Carbs are how our body gets energy. So it's really important, especially if you're active, to make sure that you're getting a variety of carbohydrates throughout the day so you can stay energized. And then prioritizing protein is really great. Your body needs protein to build muscle, to maintain lean muscle mass, and protein helps us feel full. So it really goes a long way when we're adding it into meals through things like animal proteins, like you mentioned, and then plant-based proteins like our nuts and seeds as well.
And it's just really about consistency for me, because as much as I run, especially for cross country, it's different than track, because track I do hurdles, and in cross country it's more distance, so it's hard for me to keep weight because I'm always running. So part of this for me is about consistency too, about just keeping up with it.
That's fantastic. It sounds like you're on top of your nutrition and definitely planning ahead and knowing what you need to eat.
And nutrition is as much as an effort as it is putting in that work, because if you put in the work and you don't eat, there's not really much results.
Very well said. So thank you for joining me today, Ryan, and making these overnight oats.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Okay, great. And stay tuned for more Make It Snappy episodes where we're going to focus on healthy, budget-friendly, nutritious recipes that are also fun to eat. Thank you.